Hey guys, Resto Ray here. So I'm working on a 1957 Dodge Power Wagon. I'm doing a full frame-up restoration. And I'm working through the process. The cab is off, the frame is off. But in this particular session, what I wanted to do is just kind of go over the front axle that I'm working on. And the reason why is because I couldn't find anything online. And I just thought it would be educational for those that may be attempting to tear apart their axles to see kind of what the process is and what some of the tools I'm using, as well as what some of the components may look like inside. These drums are can be extremely difficult to take off, so keep that in mind when you are going to go and remove your brake drums for the first time. So I just wanted to give everybody some tips on what I did to remove the brake drums. First off, what you're going to want to do is obviously is loosen off the brake shoes. And you're going to loosen off the brake shoes by coming in the back here and making sure that these two cams are turned out. I'll show you what the cam looks like inside when I removed it, but if you do not loosen the cam off, you're going to have an extremely difficult time pulling the brake drum off, because the brake shoes will actually cut themselves a groove. And like a lot of these old machines, the brake shoes are probably completely worn out, and it might even be metal on metal. So on either side you have this lock nut that you're going to need to loosen off, and then by turning these two cam bolts you will loosen off the brake. Now oftentimes these can be seized and extremely difficult, so again you might need to apply some heat on there. So once you've loosened off the brake shoes, it'll make it that much easier to remove the complete brake drum. The brake drum will have 3 retaining screws or bolts. You can see here that I've got 2 of them out already, just for demonstration purposes. Now, removing these was extremely difficult for myself on this particular unit. So what I did is I had to heat them. So I used an oxyacetylene tank and actually heated the surroundings of the retaining bolts here. And obviously this is going to come out very easily at this stage now. But I wanted to kind of show you what I did here is I actually made my own, per se, flathead screwdriver with this chisel. And I ended up putting it on my impact gun. So I welded a nut onto here that I could put a socket on and get that repetitive impacting on the bolt itself. And with the heat, that allowed me to remove it. Now the other thing that you can use is an impact screwdriver. So you would place your impact screwdriver, and as you hit the end of your impact screwdriver, it'll begin to make a turn. Okay, so I've threaded a 3/8 bolt in there, and you'll want something that's at least 2 inches long, 2.5 inches long. Now, I recommend that you don't use your impact, especially if you don't know the force of your impact, and you could actually end up stripping the threads right out of the casting of the drum. So I use a 1/2 inch with a 9/16 ratchet, and then I proceed to put tension on it evenly on both sides. You want to make sure that the pressure is even on both of them so that it's pulling on the drum. Now, if your drums haven't been off for some time, the likelihood that the drums are going to easily just come off by using the extraction bolts is far from few. What's going to happen is the face of the drum is going to be mated with the hub itself, and they just seize together. And so it will require some heat, as well as some gentle tapping, and maybe even some greater tapping to remove them. Now, if you see where I have my pick, this area around the drum, which is perfectly machined to fit around the hub, or likely is seized. Now, in my case, it would not come off. So what I ended up doing is applying a little bit of pressure, a little bit at a time, and just heating this area up. Just kept heating the perimeter up and tightening evenly on each side as I went. And as I was doing so, I was also tapping with the brass hammer. Tapping on the face here, and eventually what will happen with some combined force and some methodic steps here, the drum will actually pop off. You'll actually hear it pop.